Right, we stay with more from day 20 of the Madlanga Commission. We speak to security analyst and retired Interpol ambassador MD Mashaile. A very good evening to you, Mr. Mashaile, and thank you so much for your time. So, when one listens to the different versions today, it is rather confusing and interesting that this is one day, right? The 6th of December. This arrest is being effected, yet we seem to be hearing different versions, and the people that were allegedly speaking to each other are not agreeing on what exactly happened. What does this tell us?
This tells us that these gentlemen who were tasked with that responsibility of verifying didn't write the sequence of events. And if you don't have it, the sequence of events, you were in what you call a pocket book and your diary, if they don't correspond, it means from an administration point of view, there are serious challenges and shambles. And we heard when Brigadier Mchunu was testifying, followed by Captain Kruger, we realized, I picked up that there are serious challenges in terms of exactly recalling exactly what happened on that particular day. So this would create a serious doubt in the minds of those who will be making recommendations, those who will be making a decision. And I am afraid to say this mix-up corroborates what General Mchunu alleged, that there has been a capture of some of the law enforcement agencies, even though these two individuals, the brigadier and the captain, were trying to do their level best to verify. But it didn't leave us with confidence when they were contradicting themselves. They would say this when pressed upon by the three tigers forming the commission. They would change their statements and agree or give answers that would be not so convincing.
And especially because when Brigadier Mchunu now comes in, he's then asked about what was transpiring. He says, no, I phoned Kruger. Kruger then told me he's making his way there. But then he's asked, but no, Kruger in fact would have told you that he's far. And because he is far, he's having difficulty to make it there. Then he says, oh yes, but then these are the issues. And something as a simple detail is like that, to say that he did tell you he is far. You can't even say that this is what he said, but you just say that he said he is on his way.
Bongiwe, I would have explained it in the following manner to the commission. You have the national team of Toms at Silverton, and then you have next to it the provincial team of the Hawks, which are based at Germiston. I would have called the provincial head of the Hawks to say, because this happens in your province, in an area that is closer to your operation, please dispatch those members to go there. Disperse the Toms members to go there from a provincial level. It would have made it easy on him, the brigadier, and relieved the captain of the stress that he was picking up from a traffic congestion that he was talking about, meaning those cars were flying to get to move from Pretoria to Sandhurst. It would have been very easy for the commissioners to understand that those members who were nearer Sentin would be Germiston, which is Gauteng, and they would have deployed individuals from there. So
given the fact that there are serious claims of interference here, as we heard from witness A, for example, and witness B, Captain Kruger says that by 1644 he knew that the Sentin raid was a lawful SAPS operation under General Khumalo, yet he keeps driving. He then the helicopter airborne is still doing what they had told it to do, not standing down. At the same time, the Sentin and Rosebank SAPS stations were about a 5-kilometer, radius from the raid site. Yet he is calling a traffic air wing officer who's 40 kilometers away, claiming that he didn't have the local number of the station. Why wouldn't you, when you decide and you hear that this particular operation is legit, not call the brigadier to stand down?
Two things, Bongiwe. There is a mess when it comes to decision in that space. The second thing, normally when there is an operation of this nature, they wouldn't let the station, the local station, know. Reason being, some of those members at various local stations would have a relationship with the people in their policing precinct. So if they were to go there, documents and evidence and many of some of the things might disappear. Hence, you call the PKTT from outside and they come and operate. They don't necessarily inform the station. They go in there and I suspect that the Tom's team that was led by the captain also wanted to play in on that card of not informing the station coming through. So on that score, having it being in that space and understanding a little bit of that space, I would understand why the station would not be informed, because sometimes some of the rogue police members do give tip-offs to those people that they know. But long story short, there was a better way to do it. Instead of calling that gentleman from the captain from Pretoria, I have advised you could have called the General Kadwa's people from Germiston. They would have arrived at that place, at that scene, quicker than the captain had to from Pretoria to Sentin. So,
when you look at what, for example, Captain Maxwell Wanda said, he claims that the bodyguard / driver of the murder accused KT Molefe told TASC team members who were effecting Molefe's arrest at the time that he, Molefe, is friends with now suspended Police Minister Mchunu. And then, given what has also come out about, the alleged phone call and instructions that would circulate around the former Hawks head, General Libya, how crucial will it be that we hear from these two in order to understand what would have happened?
The minister must explain himself if it is true that he's friends with Katiso. Now that it's coming from the Madlanga perspective, at the ad hoc committee, he told us, the nation, that he has no clue of who Katiso Molefe is, meaning he is not friends with Katiso Molefe. And I am sure General Libya will be called to the Madlanga Commission to explain the nature or the genesis of the involvement of the Hawks, as well as the purpose of the involvement of the Hawks. So I want to believe that General Libya might tell us what we don't know, and all these other gentlemen, the brigadier and the captain, some of the things that they could not explain. It might be that the former national head, General Libya, might give us, might open a window for us to have a better understanding, which will then help the commission whether to understand whether this was interference or this was a general verification of people who might have presented themselves as Hawks officers raiding that space. Also, Bongiwe, some of the members of the community, when they phone the police, they lie about unit A or B or the name of person A or B. They would say, we are sent by General Bongiwe Zwane, and wanting to get an advantage over the situation. That's when, in some instances, you would deploy and need to go and verify who is he that claims that I, Bongiwe Zwane, send them to go and do an investigation.
Interesting, but one thing's for sure, I certainly do not want a title of general, but thank you so much for talking to us this evening. Appreciate it. And from what has come out so far, it does look like we need a bit more detail to understand the events of December the 6th. But appreciate your time as always, security analyst and retired Interpol ambassador, ND Mashaile.